Hi, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, today I want to talk to you about how I gave up on my dreams, why I did that, and why it has been a good thing for me, in my life at least. I'm going to tell you about my experience, and eventually I hope it's going to be useful for you too, not as a holy guide to follow, but at least like to not make you feel lonely. So I already made this video, but I lost it, so I'm redoing it. I made it in Miami, which made more sense, because now I'm here in Milan and this is where I'm from, but I'm gonna tell you the story of why I was in Miami. And anyways, hi, I'm Dennis. On YouTube, I'm gonna be Den-ish, because this channel is gonna be about like trying to figure out things together. And I think most of them will be for very confused people like me, or people that, were very sure about their decisions in life, but then had to change them for some reason, it could be anything. So yeah, so it's gonna be Den-ish, that's why my name. I'm gonna tell you about myself. First of all, I'm Dennis, I'm Italian, as you can tell probably by my accent. I'm from Milan, Italy, which is the northern part. And I like, I feel like a baby, and I like, writing, most of all. I like stories, I like telling stories, and I understood that my purpose is probably telling stories, which is gonna be hard to believe, like, from this video. You're not gonna believe that, but trust me, like, that's what I would like to do. Probably, I feel like I'm more confident in writing stories rather than talking about stories, but it's okay, that's a new media, that's a new challenge for me. And anyways, so yeah, let's start, I guess. So as I was saying, this video was supposed to be called, at least the first version of it was supposed to be called I Gave Up on My Dreams While Having My Favorite Cereal. So I lost that video and I finished my favorite cereal, and I don't have them here in Italy, like I have to import them. So yeah, that's part of it. Dreams, can change sometimes, I guess, and that's part of it. But so why am I doing this video? Why am I doing this whole thing on YouTube? I think mainly because I've been talking to my friends, I've been talking to people my age and not only, and I'm realizing that a lot of people are really struggling with what to do in their life, or, it's not just, oh my God, I have a dream, I don't know how to achieve it, because there's a million ways today. There's YouTube, like basically whatever you want, you can learn on YouTube. There's courses if you have, also economical, possibilities and luck also, because that's part of it. You can travel, you can expand your horizons in 1 million different ways. The thing is, what happens when, that's sort of a chain reaction, right? The chain reaction is, I have a dream, I want to achieve it, what can I do to, improve my skills in order to arrive to that wanted location, like final achievement, final goal, and then eventually reaching it, and being happy. That's, the whole thing. I think though the real problem comes when you either don't have the first part, which is, I don't have a dream. So what can I do? Like where should I experience? What should I experience if I don't have a direction? And so the whole chain breaks and you feel like you're not achieving anything in life. You're not arriving anywhere in life. And I think that's very common, and it's insane if you think about it, because it's the moment in which we have the most possibilities ever, and it's a moment in which we're the most indecisive ever. And I think it's like choosing from a menu, if you have a menu with 3 things, it's gonna be easier to decide, and if you have a menu with infinite possibilities, it's gonna take forever to decide. So what is happening to my generation most of all is we're trying to choose from this infinite menu, which is a good thing, by the way. I'm not saying that a smaller menu would be better at all, but what I'm saying is we're trying to choose from this menu, and most of all are so overwhelmed from the amount of choices, so scared about the possibilities of our lives, and luckily, of course, that we don't move at all. We don't choose at all. So I guess I'm gonna tell you about my story specifically, and then I'm gonna expand on why I think like this could be useful for you guys also. So my story is, I grew up in Italy. I've been really fairly good in life overall. I started working kind of early for Italy standards. I studied, I finished my graduation in time, like the first session I graduated and whatever. So I studied languages in school, in high school, and then in university I studied graphic design and art direction because I said, okay, I really like my passion is, my dream is creating and, expanding my horizons, like creating ideas from zero, like being able to produce something out of my mind and make it real. So I studied graphic design and art direction. The problem is that then I started working in an agency, and that was my second corporate experience, let's say, before I was doing like something related to HR, which is a bit different. The problem is that when you are faced to day-to-day tasks, the reality is very different from what you expect and what they tell you it is. You have to experience stuff in order to see how it really is. The problem is that like you can't experience everything from that menu. So what happened was, I was struck with the 9 to 5, my 9 to 5 second experience in an agency that was supposed to be like one of the most creative in Italy, huge, like a whole thing. And in the end, my real task was actually like making presentations, which was not my task. It was like my boss's task, So that's how you understand that like your perception is, yes, how you tell other people is, oh yes, I create things and I have the possibility to think about stuff and then realize it and whatever. So basically it was marketing, right? So what do you actually do is, working for rich brands that want to get richer, and to do that they have to, sell people products that they don't need at all, and you make them, feel like they need them. And then what you actually do is enriching the rich brand and nothing else. So that was not okay with me. I was like, shit, like I really wanted to do this, but then is this really my dream? Is this really like how I imagined it and whatever? And no, it wasn't. It wasn't. So what I tried to do was find out what my real dream was. Okay, that was my first idea. So finding out what my dream was, because I said, oh no, of course, like that's not my dream. I gotta find a new one, right? Because then I can start, working towards it. I hope you can hear me. There's bells outside. I have a church next to my house, so that's anyways. So I was like, I gotta find my new dream in order to progress in life, learn new skills related to my talents, and then eventually like succeed, find something that I really like and whatever. And I tried some other different things, but then at one point I got so scared about this whole idea of, having to have a dream, also because I couldn't find one in order to, start something, that I just remained stuck, like a deer in front of the lights of a car, like running towards him. I remained completely stuck. So what I did was standing still. That's it. I said, I accept the idea that I have to work until I'm old and then I'll die. Yes, that's tragic, but that's how I lived it, And then eventually I started to realize something, which is the point of this video, I guess. After 12 minutes of recording, which I hope you're not gonna see all of them, but still. What I understood at that point was that the problem was not having dreams. The solution was stopping this idea of having to have dreams in order to be able to start something, in order to be able to, want to achieve something. The idea was to give up on my dreams. Not to give up on the idea of having dreams, but to give up on the idea of having to have dreams in order to do stuff. Which I think was a huge realization for me, and that's why I want to share it with you. I think there doesn't need to necessarily be just giving up on your dreams. I think something much more effective, for me at least, was substituting my dreams with my values. So not trying to follow my dream, but to follow my values. And that would have eventually brought me to a dream or a passion or whatever. So after being stuck, actually stuck for months without being able to do anything, without, not being happy basically. So what I did was going to Miami, and that's why I told you it would have made sense to make that video in Miami as I planned it to, but that's okay. Because I took a class at FIU, which is Florida International University, of self-awareness. It's literally trying to understand where you come from to understand where you want to go. And I learned my values, and I found that so many of the things that I did in life were not aligned with my values at all. And also I found out my purpose, for example, which is not a passion, but it's something that you have to keep pursuing, let's say. So whatever you do, even if you do something not strictly related to that purpose, make sure to not, go against it, let's say. In that way, you should be more protected from doing something that you don't actually want to do. So my purpose, I found out, was, storytelling, writing stories, telling stories, telling stories to people that eventually will help them understand that there's not one single way to living life. There's so many different possibilities. We live in an era that is covered in possibilities. How can I apply this, these values, this purpose of mine to my life? For example, before I was looking for, that agency didn't work, I'm gonna look for another agency, or for example, I'm gonna look for another job completely. And the thing was the thing that was not making me happy was the canonic, 9-to-5 job thing. And it was really not working for me. So for example, understanding that my purpose was telling stories made me understood that there's so many different ways I can do this. I can do it like this, I can do it writing, I can do it, through social media or, through documentaries, longer stories. There's so much I can do. I think what really struck with me, and this is the main point of this video, I think, what worked for me was, again, giving up on my dreams in order to giving me the possibility to focus on myself, understanding what my values were, and substituting the idea of having to have dreams to the idea of having to have values, which is fundamental, I think. And you have to find a balance, but the thing is, what I learned is that dreams are what you see, at the end of the road, but values are really the sides of the road. Those things that they go when you go to the right or to the left and you go out of borders. And values are that. So when you don't know, I'm talking about my perspective, which is not finding a dream, not having a dream, and being stuck with it. And I think people that are like me can relate, but I'm talking also to people that really have a dream and then they just lose it for whatever reason, because it's impossible to find education to achieve that thing. So I'm not just saying giving up, that's the opposite. It's put your energies, not don't use your energies. I'm saying put your energies towards something that is worth it, something that is correct, not to waste them and to use them in the right direction, So I think what's needed is a lot of self-analysis. It's a lot of reality checks probably most of the time. And it's a lot of resilience, I think. Because once you find your purpose, it's not oh, I found my purpose. Okay, I found, I don't know, my dream life, my dream job. And by the way, I'm talking about work because that was something that was really stressing me out. But this applies to relationships with your family, with your partner, with new situations, with your limits, It can work with so much, basically every aspect of your life. And another thing that I was talking about, I lost that video that I wanted to publish, and for so many weeks I've been really stressed because I really wanted to, I have a project now, I have something that I want to do, I have something that I want to pursue, that I want to work on, and I couldn't because of so many different technical problems and whatever. And so what I understood is that dreams and ways to get there can change, but your values shouldn't, or through time they can evolve, they can grow, but like your core values shouldn't change. You know, core values can be kindness or sustainability or care for others, care for animals, care for, like from this you can put them all together and see, okay, what is something that I can, you know, keep pursuing that is aligned with all my values. And this will help you whenever you have a dream or you don't have a dream and you feel like you're going outside the road, to understand when you're actually like going outside the road. And it's when you're going against your values, when you're crossing your values, when you're putting, you know, your priorities second to other things that are not priority for you, but that you're just doing, you know. So you feel drenched in stress, you know, drained from energy, and you just don't go anywhere, even if you feel like you're doing so much. So it's better to do less for 1 second if you can afford to do that. Try to focus on what matters for you, to you, and then work towards that. And from there, you should not give up on your values for anything. You should give up on your dreams if they're not good for you, or if you know, you should not give up on your values. And that's, I think, my whole point that I'm trying to make here. I found out that I was opening myself up to new things, and opening those things, I know it sounds so cliche, but it's so true, I swear, like, you have to trust me. Open new things and new connections and whatever. And I was the shyest person ever, or at least like I told myself, oh yes, I'm shy, therefore I'm a shy person, so whatever I do, just remind yourself you're a shy person. And so I was so biased by this that I was, you know, precluding myself to having like new experiences and new doors to open, that we're gonna open new doors and whatever. And so like it just happens so naturally, which is, you know, it's scary and it's easy to be overwhelmed by the choices on the menu. But what I'm trying to do is, when I go to a place, and it's such a dumb metaphor, but it's true. When I go to a new restaurant and I see a menu that have 1 million things, of course I can't, you know, eat them all. But what I try to do is start from what I like, you know, start from what I'm allergic to, you know, for example. And it's so dumb, but like, since you have those, you know, sides of the road, you can just go on, and whatever happens, you know, you can try to be resilient, but you're gonna be fine. I swear you're gonna be fine. So yeah, so I think this was my first video, and again, I'm not happy about it at all, because I feel like I was so messy and it was a whole thing. But yeah, I'm happy to have done it, and that's part of it. You know, it's gonna open up my next video saying like, oh shit, like this was really wrong how I did that. I did not like how I did that. So I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change completely. I'm gonna understand that YouTube is not my thing. I don't know, but like, since you work on yourself, then try to pursue something, try to experiment things, and that is gonna be good for you. Remain open in life and find out new things that are gonna open new things. And eventually, even if I'm never gonna have a dream, I'm gonna live a life aligned with my own values. And I think that's what matters the most in the world. So I wanna figure it out together. So yeah, whether you're confused or you have a dream, that's so cool for you, good for you, man. Or, you know, you had a dream and then you had to give up on it. There is a way, all right? And we're gonna figure it out together. And yeah, it was really messy, but thank you for listening to me. And I'm so excited to start this thing together and eventually evolve together. And let's see where we, you know, end up. And thank you so much for listening. And until the next one, I hope you're gonna have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.